Welcome back to That's Some Cheese, part of the Vendetta Sports Podcast Network. Today is Monday, January 4th. We have our guy, my brain's fried. I was trying to think of an Italian metaphor and I got nothing. I'm so busy right now, it's insane. We got our guy, Anthony Fontanello, on the show. Anthony, how are you?
I'm doing okay considering last night. As many people know, I'm a Giants fan, and last night hurt. It hurt.
I'm going to jump right in. I got no notes again. My brain is completely noodle. People still, a year in can't figure out what the meta description is. So things are going. But anyway, I want to start off, and I'm going to start playing this game every single week when the season starts up again next year. And the game is called, how did Carson Wentz lose the game for the Philadelphia Eagles? This will be a game we play every single week when the Eagles come back next year. And, I just want to point out the fact that Carson Wentz went 7-20 for 72 yards and interception last night. He started the game. He was terrible. The Washington football team was able to win 20-14. Carson Wentz, he gave up 2 touchdowns. Alex Smith threw. Totally his fault. Antonio Gibson ran for 75 yards. It was totally his fault. Alex Smith fumbled, but the Eagles didn't recover. That was Carson Wentz's fault. Then Carson Wentz got, things got really bad in the fourth quarter for Carson Wentz because he just looked like a totally different guy out there. He threw a pick, 5 of 12, 30 yards. I don't know what's happening. The defense is bad. Greg Schwartz is getting fired. Carson Wentz's fault. Carson Wentz specifically drafted Jalen Reagor. So I'll open the floor off to you. What did Carson Wentz do wrong this week for the Philadelphia Eagles?
That caught me off guard. Hold on. That was good. That was good. Well, in terms of the national media, Carson Wentz did everything wrong. Everything.
Well, he played this week, right?
He did. No. He did because
okay.
I actually was watching ESPN and I couldn't believe my ears that Carson Wentz was brought up. They blamed Carson. They blamed Carson Wentz.
He was terrible this week.
Specifically, Dan Orlovsky blamed Carson Wentz for that game.
Well, he was terrible this week.
No, 100%. He was awful. Doug Peterson, Doug Peterson isn't even the coach. I don't know if many people knew this, but Carson Wentz is actually the coach.
Yeah.
So coaching, anything coaching going on, that was Carson Wentz's fault too. So any anger surrounding the Eagles should all be directed to Carson Wentz because this game was completely his fault.
I have a lot on this game. And normally I leave this up to Chad because he's our resident Eagles fan. But back to I have another metaphor for this game. And, the year 2020 was a bad year. Nobody really had a good 2020. Maybe, we had a decent 2020. Our view numbers went up and everything like that. But 2020 was a bad year. But, man, if you want to look ahead and say, what's 2021 going to be like? If you watch some NFC East football, we're all screwed this year. We are all screwed. The Giants were waiting to get into the playoffs based on the fact that Wayne Gallman sat on a football and fumbled it on his own. Then a 6-10 team would have gotten in. But then, don't you worry. The Philadelphia Eagles, they came in hot. The Eagles are now the team. You could tell me any story and I'll believe you. Like there is nothing you could tell me about the Eagles and I'm like, yeah, I believe that one. I don't know what to say about them anymore.
This year for them was just absolutely horrible. And you can blame it on Carson Wentz because I mean, like, come on, look at this team. Like they're a Super Bowl contender, and Carson Wentz single-handedly made them have a 4-12 season, or 4-11-1. It was solely because of Carson Wentz. But seriously though, God, NFC East football is looking.
We officially live in the upside down world. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, NFC East football is looking pretty bad.
If you want to know what 2020 was like, watch some NFC East games.
Oh my God, please! Yesterday, Wayne Gallman. What that play? I don't know if you were looking at the Slack at the time. I started drinking at about
fried.
I started drinking at about 12:30.
I'm in a craft room.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're in a craft room.
Yeah,
crazy stuff. But yesterday I was drinking at about 12:30 because I just was preparing myself for either a very big letdown, which the Giants normally do to me. It's well documented. Or they surprise me and actually win the game, and I can be already on my way to celebrating. Well, within a matter of 30 seconds, I went from jumping off my couch, screaming and yelling after the Giants picked off friggin' Andy Dalton in the end zone. I was so happy. I was like, I can't believe it. These guys are actually gonna win the game, and they might make the playoffs. Not even 30 seconds later, Wayne Gallman, completely untouched, fumbles the ball. And then we get bailed out because he sat on it. And that was the only time that they could tell where he had control of the ball. And they gave it to the Giants, even though personally, I didn't think the Giants should have had that ball. But hey.
Yeah, 20 minutes after. Yeah, 20 minutes after I go to a hibachi restaurant. That's what it looked like.
Straight madness. Honestly, you could just look at that play, and that's been the NFC East this entire season.
Let me finish up on the Eagles quick, and then we'll go back to the Giants. The Eagles, I don't know how else to say it other than the fact that they are officially the biggest joke in the league. There's not a team in the league that is more embarrassing to me than the Philadelphia Eagles. Think about what happened this week. Carson Wentz was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Nate Sudfeld took snaps in a game where Carson Wentz was a healthy scratch. What the fuck is the world? What has happened to us? It feels like I'm living in an alternate reality universe. It really does.
It's awful. It's disgusting. Now, what I was talking about before, Dan Orlovsky was blaming Carson Wentz. Nobody knows this because I know nobody in the world watches ESPN, except I just have it on my TV and there's nothing to watch on.
They watch on cable. Like 500 people.
Yeah, I know nobody watches ESPN anymore. I just have it on as background noise while I'm working. I heard Dan Orlovsky, this piece of garbage, is sitting here blaming Carson Wentz for being a healthy scratch. Your guys are out there playing. I said, you really think that Carson Wentz doesn't want to play? You really think that he does? I said, that was a coach. That's all Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson relegated Carson Wentz to not touching the ball again for the entire season. How in the world are you blaming him for being a healthy scratch? I'm sure damn well if they had pads on him and said, Carson, you're going in there, he's going to go in and try his hardest to show them that they're completely wrong about Jalen Hurts. So just Dan Orlovsky, I just can't believe that there was still Carson Wentz blame about this game in a game that this guy didn't even play.
Nothing makes sense in the world anymore.
Nothing
makes sense anymore.
He didn't even play, and it's his fault. Okay.
Nothing makes sense anymore. Here's the other part of it. Okay, let's say you are in this scenario, and I heard a lot of people saying this. How could you take Jalen Hurts out of the game? Did anybody watch? What do you mean? How did you take him out of the game? And I get the fact that people are angry that Nate Sudfeld was in the game. Yes, Carson Wentz should have been playing. However, if you're not going to play Wentz, let's not sit here and pretend that Jalen Hurts was going to go out there and win that game. The guy was 7-20 with a pick and had no ability to throw the ball. Sorry, if you're down 3-6 points, you need to throw the ball. So this idea that Jalen Hurts, how could you bench him? Nate Sudfeld probably did give them the best chance to win. So I don't want to hear this, oh my God, they were tanking thing. Yes, let's just remove the Wentz factor from the equation. Let's not pretend that Jalen Hurts was going to go out there and throw 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and they were going to win. Because that wasn't happening.
I will say this. You can't tell me that Nate Sudfeld gave you a better chance to win than Jalen Hurts.
I don't know if that's necessarily untrue.
Jalen Hurts was doing bad. Yes, he did have some.
Did anybody watch him?
No, he throwing wise, he was horrible. Running wise, he at least did something.
But they were down.
I know they were down, but it was only one touch. Oh, God, see, listen, I don't even know who to blame because Doug Peterson on when they had the ball down at in the red zone and they turned the ball over around 4th and goal. Jalen Hurts running the ball, or it was working. See, the problem I have when you're close to the end zone, I cannot stand teams that will throw 4 consecutive plays. But can you try to run the ball at least once? I mean, for God's sakes, you're 5 yards away from the fucking end zone. Could you run at least one time? At least show me you want to try and run the ball. I can't stand it. And first of all, I'm no Jalen Hurts supporter by any means because I've told people this before. I've seen plenty of him at Alabama.
He's 7-20. 7-20.
It was just ridiculous. I don't know why they didn't take the field goal in that situation. Could have at least tied the game, been in a better situation, but whatever. In my honest opinion, Nate Sudfeld didn't give them a better chance to win than Jalen Hurts. Now, granted, they probably both gave them a horrible chance to win that game. I'm just picking the lesser of the two evils, to be honest. Carson Wentz would have gave them a lot better chance, but we didn't even got to talk about that because he was a healthy scratch. It was his fault they lost anyway. So
yeah, I just wanted to talk about that part of it, because this idea that this was some criminal mistake to bench Jalen Hurts is crazy to me. Like, people are legit pretending that he's going to be like their starting quarterback. Like, oh my God, yeah, he's going to light up the league. Like, how does anybody know that he can't really throw that well? Like, no. Are we just going to really sit here and pretend that the Eagles were trying to lose that game? Like, come on. Like, I'm not buying that.
People are enamored by Jalen Hurts, and
it's crazy to me.
Next season, I get half the year before the Eagles fans want Jalen Hurts out, and they want the next guy.
Well, that's Philadelphia. They found a way to run Andy Reid out of town.
and dude goes to Kansas City and has had the best record in the NFL over the past 3 years.
How many Eagles fans hated Andy Reid? All of them.
I think every single one of them. Every single one of them. As a Giants fan, I never understood it, but I used to see it all the time.
I mean, you can't even make up the shit the Eagles are doing. Howie Roseman had his end of the year press conference today, and he's like, "Yeah, like trading Carson Wentz would be like cutting my fingers off." Like,
what?
Dude. And then there was a leaked video today that came out. I blogged this one too, that the Vikings were laughing at Philadelphia for taking Jalen Reagor. Like, they were laughing at them. It's one thing for fans to be irrational, and it's one thing for fans to make fun of you. When NFL teams are making fun of you, it's another story. I mean, you can't make up the shit that's happening to Philadelphia.
That's just it's ridiculous. You know what I'd love to know? I'd love to know who's worse at drafting wide receivers, the Patriots or the Eagles? Because it seems that neither one of them knows how to draft a receiver.
All right, let's get to your Giants quick.
Go to
Anthony Fontanello joining the show. Make sure to follow him, @_Font, myself, Trey Daubert. Check out the website, vendettasportsmedia.com. Now, it seems like you were on a roller coaster yesterday. You actually really wanted the Giants to make the playoffs.
I did.
Chad kind of brought this up, and I don't necessarily agree or disagree, but I want to at least pose the question. He said Giants fans don't deserve to be mad because they were 6-10. So I want to give you a chance to respond.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Be 6-10. Shut up, okay? I'm so tired of hearing that. Okay, the division is what it was. You win the division, you go to the playoffs. If you're mad about the entire division being terrible and a 6-10 team would make the playoffs, I'm sorry. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Go cry about it to somebody else. We had a chance to make the playoffs, didn't make the playoffs. We, just like any other team in that situation, would have been upset. Okay, so I don't want to hear that. Any other team would have been upset in that situation, especially the Giants, especially me. Okay, after the roller coaster of emotions I went through yesterday, I went from Giants are winning, Giants win, and Wayne Gallman's about to blow the game. They don't blow the game. I'm happy. And then going to Sunday Night Football, we had a brief 14-10 lead where I actually believed that we'd be in the playoffs. And then that quickly melted away as we realized the Washington football team was a lot better than the Eagles. I don't want to hear that. Like, the Giants have not won the division since 2011. I deserve every single right to be upset if we did not make it. And it rested on the shoulders of the Eagles winning that game. Okay, I can be upset about it.
Here's how I kind of, just by listening to you talk, here's how I feel about it. There are a lot of things in sports that are unfair. Baseball doesn't have a salary cap. That's unfair. That to me is unfair. The Pittsburgh Pirates will never compete. Never. There will never be a year in which I'm alive and the Pittsburgh Pirates will be World Series contenders. Never. The NBA is an unfair game. They've drafted D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle and Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and none of them are really with the team. And if Orlando did that, they'd still suck. But LeBron walks to town and everything's good. So we can win. That's unfair. Football, some years the division's going to be down and some years the division's going to be up. I don't know. What was it? Maybe 10 years ago, the NFC West was a joke. Now it's a fucking Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and Pete Carroll. And like, it's about as good as it gets. Mm-hmm. The AFC East is now really good. My whole life, it was terrible. Part of the reason why New England was so good is because the division was so bad. So there are things in sports that are unfair. The winning your division and being like, oh, there's a bad record in the division, that's not unfair. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not gonna happen all that much. There's not gonna be 4 bad teams in one division.
Well,
every year, except maybe the NFC East might be the outlier of this, because I was
going to say, I don't know how it's getting better.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC West, though, like what you mentioned, when the year Seattle made it, I believe at 7-9. Right after that, all like the Seattle and
they won their playoff game.
They did. They beat the defending champs that year, the Saints, who had to go to Seattle. That was the Marshawn Lynch beast mode game.
Yep.
But they got better. Like, they got really good, right? Like, pretty much right after that. I don't see that happening for any of the NFC East teams.
Anything else on the Giants? Do you have anything else to mention?
At least we got a top 10 pick. That's like kind of my silver lining in this.
Who do you want in the draft? What number is it?
I think we have 9.
Yeah.
We have like 9 or 10.
Yeah, I said
maybe.
this before, but I would much rather. I'd much rather not win the division if I'm the Giants. What's it accomplishing?
I don't know, man. We just haven't won the division since 2011. I just want to win something. It's been we haven't made the playoffs in like 4 or 5 years. 5 years now. But I just want to win something.
All right, we have Anthony Fontanello joining the show. Make sure to follow him, @_font1. Make sure to follow me, Trey Dalbert. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Your support means a lot, so every subscription helps us along the way. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. In case you hadn't heard, your favorite Renegade Sports Media Group has its own Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media to support our efforts to continuously bring you sports, gaming, and other media coverage as only we can. We've got 4 different membership tiers. For $3 a month, we'll give you a simple thank you on our Patreon site. For $6 a month, you get a thank you and you get to become a recruit in Jackson Law's Vendetta University Gaming Series. For $10 a month, you get everything from the previous tiers, a special thank you at the end of our videos, free access to our upcoming Discord chat, and a free koozie after 4 months. And then the big dog, $50 a month, gets you everything from the previous tiers, as well as opportunities for Fantasy League invites, stream gaming, possible invites to mock NFL and NBA draft sessions, a once-a-month Google Hangout, and after 4 months, a free t-shirt. Yeah! Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media and help us to improve our pledge to bring you the best sports, gaming, and other media coverage.
All right, we're back. We're going to do a quick little NFL playoff prediction thing, and then we're going to recap some of the college football playoff games. First things first, if you had to pick a AFC champ, NFC champ, and a Super Bowl pick, what do you have?
I got Bills versus Packers, and Packers, and no, not Pack, and Bills Mafia comes through and Bills win the Super Bowl.
Wow. I have no idea. I have no idea because I think Buffalo's really nasty, but I'm scared they're 1 year away, that they're just quite not ready. Right now, I'm probably leaning towards a Green Bay win over Kansas City, but I honestly have no idea. It feels like the most unpredictable playoffs of all time.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the AFC playoffs is really tough.
The AFC is so much better than the NFC right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's never been like that, though.
No. This is first year in quite a while where you could say there's at least two, 3 teams from the AFC that have a legitimate shot to make the Super Bowl and win it. From the NFC, I mean, really, who's the most legitimate person or most legitimate team? Probably just the Packers. I mean, you could say the Saints too. You say the Packers are the Saints. I don't believe in the Bucks at all. Let's not kid ourselves with the Bears. They're not winning. They're not winning dog crap. The Washington football team, no, I don't want to. No, 7-9. They're not. They're not winning shit either.
Let's do this. Let's create a Super Bowl bubble then. I'm going to give you a team, and you can tell me if they have any % chance to win the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
If things break their way, can they win the Super Bowl? Colts.
No.
Browns.
Yes.
Ravens.
Sorry, no. I don't think so.
Titans.
No.
Steelers.
No.
Oh. So the Browns can win the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh cannot.
No, I'm sorry.
Here.
The Steelers have done nothing to show me that they can win that.
All right. Chicago.
Hell no.
Rams.
No.
Bucks.
Yes, just because of Tom Brady. They could.
Washington.
No.
Seattle.
Yes, Russell Wilson.
New Orleans.
Yes.
All right. It's going to be interesting. I honestly have no idea. We could maybe wrap up with this NFL-wise, but you're handing out the MVP award. Is it automatic Aaron Rodgers?
I wouldn't say I want Aaron Rodgers to win. I believe he deserves to be the MVP this year, but I have a strong feeling that they, like, honestly, I think Pat Mahomes is out of the conversation just because he's kind of flown under the radar. Like, honestly, this year, like, his teams have always been in close games. They haven't really blown anybody out. I think Aaron Rodgers and Derrick Henry get the most looks as MVP. I do think Aaron Rodgers takes it, though. But I think Derrick Henry does get a look.
Isn't it weird how Kansas City is 15-1, but feel vulnerable They haven't blown anybody out in a long time.
No, they've let I think they've let everybody hang around for like the past 5 weeks.
I don't know what to make of them. I don't know if they're going to come out firing in the postseason, because remember a year ago they went down 24-0 to Houston. Like, I don't think they can just pull a rabbit out of their ass every single time.
Now, eventually you're gonna have to really try, like, be world beaters. You gotta beat the brakes off teams you're supposed to. Like, you can't be letting teams like the Raiders hang around and even lose to them once. Like, I think they let the Broncos hang around in a game too this year. They just haven't looked as dominant as you would think the Chiefs would be.
I love Bills Mafia. I'm pulling for them.
I love Bills Mafia. I love Bills Mafia. I really do. They're a crazy bunch of fans.
If anybody deserves the COVID vaccine, screw the healthcare professionals. It belongs to the Bills Mafia.
I want 60,000 Buffalo residents to get that vaccine and go to the stadium for that game.
That's exactly what I want. I really think they can win it. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, you're not.
Josh Allen's a monster, man, and their roster is really good.
See, the thing is, that's been the one thing is if Josh Allen takes the leap and they get him a little bit of help, can they be contenders? And he took a leap. He took a huge leap this year.
They still don't even have all the help.
No, they really don't.
Let me ask you this: who's their tight end? Do you know?
Isn't it Knox?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, their number 2 receiver is Cole Beasley.
Isn't it funny how Josh Allen's playing well? He's like, hey, look, he's got Cole Beasley.
Yeah. But Stephon Diggs, I think, deserves a lot of credit too, because he's had the best year of his career with Josh Allen. And
isn't it funny the numbers he put up with Kirk Cousins?
Yeah. I mean, look at what he did great this year. He led the league in receptions and receiving yards.
Give me a bold prediction for the playoffs.
As far as a shocking game, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one. I might contradict myself, but no, I'll give you a bold prediction for this one. Washington football team beats the Bucs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would that happen?
Mike Evans' availability issues.
Okay.
Added to the fact that the Washington football team, the defensive line is playing really well, and I've seen teams before win playoff games with a really good defense and like a game manager type offense. Also, the Bucs, they've been hot, but come playoff time, who on that roster besides Gronk and Tom Brady have been in the playoffs? And JPP.
Nobody.
No one really. I mean, no one important.
You could say that about a lot of teams, though.
Yeah, you can. But I don't know. This Bucs team, because to me, they don't feel like a team. They just feel like a collection of talent. And when you get into the playoffs, that team, mentality really does matter. And like
Washington football team,
we've seen the under 500 playoff team upset teams before in the first round.
Ron Rivera's Carolina Panthers did it too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like that pick. We're gonna take one more quick break. We got Anthony Fontanello on the show this week. Please subscribe to the channel. We have big things coming up. I hope to have an announcement coming up soon. Either way, my State of the Union post will be really good, so make sure to look out for that. One more quick break. We're going to talk about the college games, and we'll be right back.
The following broadcast is brought to you in association by Forever Grips. Go to forevergripsgaming.com for all of your affordable gaming accessories. Need new grips for your analog sticks? They've got it. Need to swag up your controller or console, including the Xbox Series X or PS5? They've got it. Need a sweet mouse pad to complete your setup? Go to forevergripsgaming.com now. Act now and use the Vendetta Sports Media promo code VSM15 at checkout to get 15% off of your purchase. That's right, 15% off by using our promo code VSM15. Forever Grips, The best accessories for the best prices are with Forever Grips.
All right, so I wanted to start off with a little bit of a rant because I didn't get to do it on the NFL draft show that we have. So it's amazing to me how for the past 2 weeks I've been hearing Justin Fields. This guy's not that good. Justin Fields, oh my God, like he shouldn't even go into top 10. Like, did you see him against Northwestern? He was terrible. Like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all these fucking losers on ESPN are like, hey, his stock is falling. Man, Justin Fields doesn't even belong with Trevor Lawrence. And I've said the same thing over and over and over again, that the gap between him and Lawrence isn't that close. I don't care that he had a bad game against Northwestern. If you beat someone in a quarterback camp 3 years ago in the Elite 11, it's not because you're bad. Well. We wake up today and the number 11 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes beat Clemson 49-28, and Justin Fields threw 6 touchdowns. Turns out that guy's pretty good. Weird.
It's crazy how those things happen, right? It's amazing.
What's your takeaway in the game?
Takeaway from that game, Justin Fields, love him. Great guy. Nothing changed for me on Trevor Lawrence.
Nor
he did have a really just had a really bad game. No reason why he shouldn't be taken number 1, but Justin Fields should 100% be taken number 2 by the Jets. I love this kid. I mean, you saw the throws that he was making were fucking incredible. I mean, he had those 2 50-plus yard bombs right on the money to his receivers. And also, he got hurt early in the game from...
He wasn't 100%.
No, he wasn't 100% he was hobbling the entire game. And his throwing looked like it had no effect on his throws at all. But he could barely move. Like, he was hobbling that entire game. I personally think that the gap between those two is not as far as everyone said. And also, I'm really tired of this stop believing in the Ohio State quarterback thing. I don't like I hate that. Don't group quarterbacks together just because of where they went to school. Just because we take Sam Darnold, for instance, just because Sam Darnold had Mark Sanchez and Matt Leinart as his as predecessors doesn't mean that he's not good. Nor does it mean that Justin Fields, just because he has Braxton Miller and Dwayne Haskins as his predecessors, does not mean that he's not good or he will not succeed in the NFL. I personally think that Justin Fields is going to have a really solid career, and I think it would be this if the Jets missed out on Trevor Lawrence, a very, very good consolation prize is Justin Fields.
I want to read a tweet by Bucky Brooks because it kind of sums up how I felt the whole time. But, you know, he says it after the fact, so it doesn't really mean as much. But he says, I think there will be a greater appreciation for Justin Fields' talent. He's not a perfect prospect, but he's definitely a premier talent. That might have been lost in the conversation the past few weeks. No fucking shit. Like, no fucking shit. This reminds me so much of Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson because the complaints were the exact same. He's this great athlete. And people were saying, well, he holds onto the ball too long. Well, the Clemson offense isn't the most pro style ready. Well, he's kind of got everything spread out. And well, he's got some good pieces around him. And well, maybe he's a better athlete than a real quarterback. It's like, shut the fuck up. Justin Fields is a baller. You're not going to miss here. He's going to be unbelievable. Don't overthink it. Hand the card in for Watson and be done with it.
Pretty much. I mean, you want to say all those things about that? Like, I remember that very, very well about Deshaun Watson coming out. Like, I didn't understand why people like were not high on him. I mean,
because nobody actually knows how to evaluate the position.
No, they don't. I mean,
it's sad.
Deshaun Watson is he's an absolute ball. He's a baller. The dude's a winner, a competitor. His best receiver this year was Will Fuller, who then got
He led the league in
suspended.
passing yards this year.
He did. Then got, his best receiver was Will Fuller, who missed half the year because he got suspended for PEDs. Then his second best receiver was Brandon Cooks, who actually had some really good games.
He averaged 25 fantasy points over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, which you don't say much for Brandon Cooks. So for anyone that was worried about Deshaun Watson and even after DeAndre Hopkins left, no, he's a great quarterback. That team is just going to ruin him, and I feel so sorry for that man.
Does Ohio State have any chance to beat Alabama?
I'm an Alabama fan, so I may be a little biased. I listen, they got a chance. They got a chance. I'm not going to sit here and say they don't, but Alabama's offense is really good this year. Like this, it's a little different from years past when Alabama just had like an absolute stellar defense and maybe one or two, like really good skill position, like running back or wide receiver, and they really just ran the ball and played defense. But this year, they're nasty. That offense can score with anybody. Ohio State, I give them a chance. However, I still think Alabama wins this game by at least 2 touchdowns.
Alabama kind of feels like, remember the year Clemson had all those guys come back? Cleveland Farrell went back, and Christian Wilkins went back, and Dexter Lawrence went back, and they had all these guys come back on the defensive line, and they just smoked Bama in the championship game because nobody could block. It kind of feels like that for Bama this year. Najee Harris went back to school. Why? Devonta Smith went back to school. Why? And they have all these dudes that really shouldn't have been playing in this game that are clearly NFL guys a year ago. It's hard for me to see how they lose because they have so many dudes and they have more dudes because they shouldn't be playing in the game.
Yeah.
Najee Harris should be in the league.
Absolutely. He was even
he didn't need to come back for his senior year.
No, he didn't. See, honestly, I think last year's 11-2 or 10-2 Alabama season was a blessing in disguise because that team really wasn't that good. And that just left a sour taste in all their NFL ready prospects' mouths. And they all decided to come back so they could destroy the playoff this year. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see Alabama hoist up another trophy. I'm not going to count Ohio State out like Clemson did because
number 11.
Number 11. Well, I guess that makes Clemson number 18 then, or something like that. I don't want to hear Ohio State fans chanting Saban's name after the game. So we're not gonna underrank Ohio State. we're not gonna think they can't win.
I have a quick little rant about the Alabama Notre Dame game, and then we can wrap up. Todd McShay, that guy fucking sucks. I can't believe some of the things that come out of his mouth. I can't believe he acknowledged the fact that he had Mac Jones as not on his draft board coming into the year. Yeah. Mac Jones was pretty good last year. He didn't play the full season, but that bowl game against Michigan, he lit their ass on fire. He had a couple of really good games last year. And he's like, oh, Najee Harris had him in the 4th round. He really needed to come back. What the fuck games are you watching? Can we get a little bit of a shout out to Todd McShay? You fucking idiot, man. He sucks.
Todd McShay is an absolute moron.
Wow. I couldn't believe the things he was saying during that game.
Yeah, Mac Jones wasn't even on my draft board, and he's probably going to end up winning the Heisman. Look at me. Look, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell everyone on national television that I'm a fucking moron.
I don't get it.
I don't understand that.
Especially the Najee Harris one. He's been there forever. How'd you have him in the 4th round? No big guy like that hurdles people the way.
No,
there's not many big guys that can do the things that Najee Harris can do. So I don't know. Just that needed to be said.
That's just ridiculous because honestly to me Najee Harris reminds me a little bit of Derrick Henry when he was in Alabama. If I got any resemblance of a Derrick Henry, Yeah, there's no way that man is in the 4th round. Not a shot.
No, I have him. I had him as my number 1 ranked guy. I will continue to have him as my number 1 ranked guy. Do you have anything else to add, college wise? Any other storylines you're looking forward to? Sarkisian gets the Texas job.
Oh yeah, that's right. That'll be Sarkisian's last game as OC. It's okay though. Nick Saban's gonna go and find himself another amazing offensive coordinator. Just who knows where. You could say whatever you want, but listen, Nick Saban, for some reason, he just finds offensive coordinators just off the street almost. It's
crazy because nobody ever leaves Clemson.
No.
He keeps all of his assistants.
Dabo keeps all of his assistants. Nick Saban's like, all right, now go ahead. Be my guest. And then he turns around and he goes, all right, let's see. I got the number of about 15 offensive coordinators, so I know we're going to kill it.
All right. I guess that's going to do it then. Make sure to follow Anthony Fontanello on Twitter, ant_font. Is it Ant Font 1 or something?
Yeah, ant_font 1.
So confusing. Anyway, make sure to follow me, your host, Trey Dalbert. Quick, decent little show today. One last thing, subscribe on YouTube. Helps us out tremendously, as Jackson likes to say. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and we will see you next time.